Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Nuanced, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you are doing great. It's a rain day today, and I hope, please bear with me, the noise and all that. Yeah, so we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a video. I saw not really a video. She actually posted this, and she was like, white women really have a lot to learn about black women, how strong they are, and about ruthless self-acceptance. And a lot of people are kind of finding it hard to they are kind of thinking, is this a compliment, or she's just trying to gaslight herself and all that. I do not blame anybody wanting to know if this is a compliment or the other one, because you all know sometimes they say this, they don't mean it. I mean, when they say A, they meant B and the rest of it. And you all already know how black people have to grow up, how black people grow up in general. Black women grow up so fast. They do not they don't enjoy their childhood days, because you have to be that strong, independent and all that and the rest of it, right? So which I really do understand. And I think it's coming from a great place, like from what I can see, you all. But then black women, I am sure a lot of black women do not want to identify as a strong and independent woman and all that. I understand the fact that they show love, they are strong, they do a lot of things without they work together, they are mother of the whole world and the rest of it. But you know what? Let's get into this video.
Gwyneth Paltrow says white women have a lot to learn from black women about ruthless self-acceptance. And goes on to say, I think white women are taught to be competitive with one another. In my circle of black women, they do not do that. I have thoughts. Before I go any further, let me go ahead and add the reminder. This is very little to do with Gwyneth Paltrow and more what she's saying and how she's saying it. So just keep that in mind. I saw that somebody had posted that on Twitter, and I read that and I read it again. And my thing about it is, it's not wrong. What she's saying is not wrong. I just don't know what her what next is. And this is my big thing about white women saying things that can seem to be supportive of black women. Go with me on this. Conversation has been had here, and it's been had in other places, about something that white women struggle with is that lack of sense of self, or that loss of sense of self. And because of that, they find themselves in competition with other people, because instead of trying to figure out who they are, they just want to seem better than the next person. They are looking at better than, as opposed to who I am. The part that I'm stuck on and where I'm hesitating is the way in which she said it, the wording, the ruthless self-acceptance. If you've been with me for any amount of time, you know that I use my words with intention. I believe truly that words and the way that we use them have meaning. So when we're talking about ruthless self-acceptance, the way that I think about that is that it's a lack of care. It is merciless. It's no holds barred. Black women are going to make sure we accept ourselves, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Which, yes, and also, and this is where my what's next is she going to have the conversation about why black women have such radical self-acceptance? Radical is the word I'm looking for. She's going to have the conversation about radical self-acceptance, about why we accept ourselves so radically because the world doesn't. Is she going to discuss the fact that black women love on ourselves so much because the world doesn't? Is she going to talk about how we got to this place to be somebody to learn from? Without having that conversation, the appreciation for why you're learning what you're learning from us can be lost. And without that appreciation, then the inclusion of black women can also be lost. And it can just be, I see what they're doing, that'll work for us. They can keep doing what they're doing over there. I'm still fleshing this out. This is interesting. I'm curious for y'all's thoughts. I'm curious for how you perceived that headline and the little extra addendum. I'm curious to how you perceive that.
You ain't invited to the barbecue yet, but we will FaceTime you from the grill.
First of all, brother, stay out of women folks' business, okay? We ain't gonna be inviting Gwyneth Paltrow to the fucking cookout, and no, we are not going to FaceTime her. She's not invited, thus said black women. Okay, so you mind your business. We got this. Now on to Gwyneth Paltrow. I do not know why. We are still shocked. When Gwyneth Paltrow opens her mouth and fuck, shit just rolls out of it. It's on brand for her. And here's the thing. Gwyneth Paltrow, she don't have no black women friends. She's got acquaintances that happen to be black women. We know how that goes, don't we, sis? We will show them the face we want them to see. Period. And Gwyneth Paltrow has grown up in wealthy elite circles. She has seen black women in her life, all of her life. The help. And those black women, they show up to work and they're happy. They're engaged. They are always there to assist each other. Why? Because we're trying to make sure that we can keep our fucking jobs. Trying to make sure that we don't suffer the repercussions, any more repercussions of white supremacy than we have to. Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't know us. She knows of us. She knows the black woman we allow her to see. And there's a reason that black women have a sense of camaraderie, a sense of unity, this radical love that we have for each other. And it is quite literally because we have to love and protect each other from the Gwyneth Paltrows in this fucking world. White women will never be friends with each other. They will never be sisters. They don't have anything to give each other because they have to give their very all to white supremacy. There's a high price for you to pay to be second in line to benefit from white supremacy. And your men demand your blood sacrifice. They weaponize your own wombs against you. What do you have left when you are done bartering your soul for your position? And we are not stupid. We know the price that you have to pay. And when your debt is so high in relation to your currency, yeah, you don't have a fucking thing for us either. So y'all stay over there with your picture of black women. Leave us the fuck alone and let us do our damn thing. Keep her wondering at a distance.
What if Paltrow says white women have a lot to learn from black women about Ruthless?
First of all, if you don't follow Portia, do yourself a favor. Don't even watch this video. Go follow her. I have learned more from her than just about anybody else on this app. She has educated me. She has humbled me. Her videos are powerful. There is a power in her videos that I haven't found in a lot of places. When I started deconstructing from my religion, my evangelical background, I also started deconstructing from the inherent racism that was trained into me. Growing up evangelical, specifically Southern Baptist, I realized that there is an undercurrent of racism throughout the entire denomination. And that makes complete sense when you understand the history of the SBC. And it was founded specifically on racism and the fact that plantation owners didn't want to get rid of their enslaved people. And so they started an entire denomination that allowed them to keep their enslaved people. You can't, I don't care how many hundreds of years pass. You can't just get that out of your denomination because it's the core of your foundation. Also, growing up Appalachian, there is inherent racism in everything. And I know I'll probably get yelled at by some people on here, and that's fine. But I love being Appalachian. And because I love being Appalachian, I think that the entire history of Appalachia should be recognized and studied, and we should be able to point to things that are bad and say, look, that was bad, and we should be able to move forward from those things and learn from those things. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. That's fine. So Gwyneth Paltrow was giving a talk at, I think, Dartmouth, and there are some of the things that she says that I think I'm okay with. Okay, Black women friends know themselves, love themselves in a way that I think white women are not taught to. Yes, I will agree on that from the perspective of being a white woman. It is inherent in our DNA that we are competitive. Competition among white women is fierce. We are taught to be smarter than, prettier than, thinner than, wealthier than, whatever than the other woman. I mean, Regina George is a perfect little encapsulation of what it means to be a white woman. Oh my God, I love your skirt. Where did you get it? But here's where the ick starts to settle in. And Black women, if you see this video and you are so inclined, would you let me know if I'm on the right track with this, if I'm not, if I'm reading way too much into it, if the ADHD is just kicking in and driving me crazy? I don't know, but this is where the ick started to hit. I've learned so much from my Black friends about ruthless self-acceptance and full love of self. Now, on the surface, it's like, okay, why does this give me ick? It feels very centering. It's like she is sitting there saying, well, I have learned this from my Black friends and I realize this. It has that white woman competitive thing that's running through it. And she also says keeping white women at odds with each other, in competition with each other, keeps the patriarchy strong, and you don't have to get less because somebody else is going to get more. But I think maybe that's continuing the ick for me. We understand that. But it's still centering white women in the conversation. So am I way off base on this? There is something that gives me ick. Am I right to have ick?
Some people are never satisfied with how white women show their allyship for Black women. I just read an article in TMZ about Gwyneth Paltrow saying something to the effect that white women need to learn from Black women how to love and respect themselves. And in the article, she was really standing up for what she has learned from the Black women in her life, in the way that they really have this incredible amount of respect for themselves. And of course, there were people who had to criticize and say that she is tone deaf, because what about the rappers? What about the feud between Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion? And listen, people are going to fight. People are not going to get along, whether you're white, Black, whatever nationality or culture you're from. That's just being human. But if we are going to shoot down every time someone in a white body tries to stand up and compliment how we show up in a way that needs to be emulated, we need to stop tearing people down, because a rising tide raises all boats. We need to stand together, and if there's something that she is saying that you think can be said better or is inappropriate, come at it from a learning perspective. Like, here's why you shouldn't say this. Here's why. This is inappropriate. Here's why. Stop tearing people down when they try to stand up for us, whether it's perfect or imperfect. We all need to listen to one another and help each other learn.
Gwyneth Paltrow says white women have a lot to learn from Black women about ruthless self-acceptance. Oh no. Okay, so the problem is that Gwyneth Paltrow does not have the bonafides to have Black women's names in her mouth. I like Gwyneth Paltrow fine. I was rooting for her in her skiing trial. I love the glasses and the seltzers. I loved your girl on Glee. I think she's a beautiful actress and a wonderful businesswoman. The problem is there is no precedent set for her to be speaking on Black women. I don't know of any of her Black friends or family members. I've never seen her with a Black woman. She could have basically said, Black women are Black women, and I still would be like, don't say that. Also, this is not The Help. We don't have to teach you anything, but good luck to Miss Paltrow as she weathers the storm of this headline.
Gwyneth Paltrow came out and she was like that white women have a lot to learn from Black women. Now, I found this very interesting. We were going back and forth in the chats and the comments. Some people agree that, you know, she didn't mean any harm. Other people did not agree. What do y'all guys think?
I've been trying to figure out how I feel about it too. I don't know. I feel like she was maybe reaching a little bit. I mean, what she said was true, but then it was like, on the other hand, it was like some of it wasn't really a compliment to me. It was like, we're the better person. Like women, that's how women are, period, not just white women, you know. And I think she just, I don't know if it was like a sympathy thing or what, but I don't feel like it just was, that wasn't a compliment to me.
I can see that because the whole, we're authentically, you know, amazing. Like, it's the struggle, in my opinion, that Black women have to go through to be able to even learn that, right? We have to go through life being Black women. So yeah, we have to have each other's back for, you know, to an extent. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out because I see where she meant to give us a compliment, but it kind of felt a little backhanded. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
on us to make y'all better, or it's not on us to lead. I don't want to lead y'all. Go lead yourself.
Right. We've been doing that for many years.
I see that point of view. It's hard to trust white people when they say stuff, right? Period. You just don't know what they really mean. I do agree that there is a lot that the world can learn from Black women and Black people, period. We are able to survive. We are in a lot of circumstances. We have overcome so much. Black women are leading the world in so many different areas. So yeah, they can learn from Black women. But remember, like, that thing that they admire really came from trauma that was created by people like her. You know, it was, we became great because y'all made it so hard for us, right? You know, but Black women became great. I'm talking about the great Black women. Not every Black woman is great. Let's just be honest.
Right.
The ones that are really doing it, you became great because you had to fight your way through situations that were created by other people, sometimes by men like us, sometimes by white folks or whatever. And I think that, like, she has a point with that, but it's hard to know kind of where she's going with that. And I also think that it's definitely pandering whenever anybody acts like an entire group of people is perfect. You know, like, and you see that sometimes you'll see a white person that'll be speaking on a race issue, and they'll talk like every single Black person's the same, and that every single Black person is right, and that doesn't help you either. If somebody's always acting like everything you do is wonderful and amazing, no, that ain't true. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's cool that she said it, but I don't really know exactly what she meant. Because you think about it, right? Like, white women have a special privilege that nobody else has in our society. Like, white women are, they're the most fragile because they have the highest, like, suicide rates and all that. The lowest suicide rate is Black women. And then also the other thing about white females is that they are the least likely to, like, go to prison and all that. Like, Black men, we're the ones who get sent to prison. And so a Black man and a white woman can do the same crime, and the white woman, they'll let her off with parole. The Black man will get 20 years. You know, so white women have always been kind of pampered in a certain way. And I think they have to have their own conversation with each other about how you're just treating other people, period. You know, I don't think they need to necessarily just look at us or bring us into the discussion.
Right. Leave us out y'all group chat.
Right. Exactly.
You want to come to the picnic so bad.
That was my next thing. And then everybody invite them to the picnic.
Right. Yeah, Gwyneth will be at the barbecue.
Hey friends, have you heard this story that the Shade Room posted about Gwyneth Paltrow saying white women should mirror Black women's approach to self-love? Well, now Gwyneth is under fire for making this statement, but I truly believe that it's taken out of context. She's basically saying that how she grew up in her household, she felt like she was taught to be competitive and to be jealous of other white women. Basically, in her household, she had to be better than the next woman. She had to feel superior. You know what I'm saying? And what I don't understand is, why is she under fire for giving such a great compliment to the Black community? She said further along in the story that how self-assured her Black peers were in comparison to the Caucasian crews that she's worked with. What's wrong with her stating her opinion? She's a white woman and she feels like this is what she goes through. This is her opinion. But she's also felt like she's came in contact with some great Black women who have taught her to be assured of herself, acceptance of herself. And she also said that she felt like black women are taught this from their home to be this way. We are taught to love the skin that we're in. We are taught to love who we are. And I think that that's just great that she went in a public forum and she stated these things, because she was at a makers conference in Beverly Hills. And she said this to Dr. Ella Bell, who's a professor. I think it's great. I think Gwyneth did a great thing. I think women should support other women. You know, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, but it's great that she pointed out that black women do have some great attributes. You know what I'm saying? We have did great things, and we do have great self-love for ourselves. And I'm proud that she spoke on that. I don't know, Gwyneth. I say kudos to you. You did a great thing, and fuck who don't like what you said.
My black women friends love themselves in a way white women don't.
You know what that is? I think that's because black women, we are born having to fight for our lives from like day one. And having to fight for everything that you have because no one gives you anything. That fight, who you become as a result of it is who you ultimately end up becoming, you know, falling in love with. And I think that that's why a lot of black women, I'm not going to say all, because a lot of us are very broken, but those of us who have figured it out, those trials and those tribulations of being a black woman is what shapes our entire existence. And how can you not love that when you figure out how to do that right?
So this is all I got from this. A lot of people, like, you know, I don't blame anybody, like, you know, having been kind of double-minded about what she said and all that. You all know how, I'm sorry, I think it's about to rain and it's kind of windy. So if you are getting any windy or like, you know, noise, it is not in here, it's from outside. It's kind of very windy, you know. Yeah, it's about to rain, I can hear it. So yeah, a lot of black people have really been through a lot, and you know, and you know, they keep saying black women, you know, strong and independent women and all that. A lot of black women are tired of being strong. If only you understand what I am saying. Because, I mean, that has always been what they call black women. They are strong, which we know, and all that. But they are really tired of being strong. They don't want to be strong anymore. And some of these were like, you know, what happened, like, you know, what has happened to them, trauma and the rest of it that has shaped them into the people they became and the rest of it, you know. Some people are not enjoying that strong woman kind of thing anymore because, like, you know, everybody deserves to like show his or her, I mean, her soft side of life. I mean, we all deserve to show our soft side instead of being strong for the rest of our lives. Black women, black people kind of grow up very fast. Like, I hope you understand this. Like, you know, they do not get a lot of time to be pampered, to do this, to enjoy their childhood days and all that. I mean, they really grow up so fast. So it's really, I mean, it's okay that she said that, like, you know, white women have a lot. What's going on? That white women really have a lot to learn from black people and the rest of it, you know. Yeah, they really do, because I love the fact that black women stick together, the fact that they see so much far ahead of time. Like, you know, the reality is that I don't know how they do it, but I have like noticed some certain things. So most of the things that happen, you see black women signaling. They will signal you ahead of time. It is left for you to answer, or if it is left for you to know, if it is left for you not to know. But they are going to hammer it. I don't know how it happens, but it's something that I have learned about them. They see so much far away, and they say it, they speak it, they talk about it. Either you accept or not, but the reality is that eventually it is still going to happen. So that is something that I have learned. I mean, like, being on this, getting to learn about history, African American history, Black people's history, and the rest of it. So they see so much ahead of time. So it's either you are in for it or you are not in for it, whichever one. I love the fact that they stick together. That doesn't mean that there are, they don't quarrel and all that. Quarrel is inevitable, especially when it comes in a community, even families, siblings, and all that. They do all that, But what happens after the quarrel is like, how you settle things out and like, overlook some certain things and move on. It's just how to, I don't know, but like, that is another way, like, another one to talk about some other time and all that. I love the fact that they are very supportive. When they say we are going to support you, they are definitely going to support you. Not until you show them the reason why they are not going to support you. It is raining, and please ignore all the sound that you're hearing. It's therapeutic too, and it aids relaxation. Woo, it's raining so hard. Yeah, so all these that I have learned about Black people, Black women, and all that, they come together and they do their thing and become success and all that. I love also how they are. Black women are so, when they say mother to the world, they are everybody's mother. I mean, how is that? Yeah, they are everybody's mother. When you come into a place and you see Black women, and automatically, even probably a playground, even when they come to play with their children, and I mean, there is a child next to them that they don't even know. Trust me, a Black woman ain't going to let anything happen to that child. I know what I am saying. They always be on standby and the rest of it. So there are so many things to look up to appreciate about Black women and all that. I love the fact that she actually spoke up, but a lot of people are having this double mind. Is it coming from a good place or not coming from a good place and all that? I love the fact that Black women, when they see something and they do not like it, they speak like straight up. They do not hesitate. They go straight up and they tell you without going, but they tell you, I mean, live and direct. They do not mince words. I love that about you all, and you all are really super awesome. You all can see a lot of people, even when you come on TikTok, you see a lot of white people also see other people of color coming out to say how, I mean, the impact Black women has really, like how Black women impacted them and all that. And that is just really a very beautiful thing to see on the internet. Not just, sometimes we do not know what we have. We do not know the power you possess. Sometimes it's other people that say it, right? Maybe people in your community or we are not saying that, but I see a lot of that about you all, right? And I appreciate also that about you. So not just only a white woman saying that, me also, I am saying that Black women, Black people are super awesome. I love all your strength. I love how you all make some certain things look easy, even when it is the hardest thing ever. You all rock. You all are super awesome. And when I have to stop, see you all in my next video. Bye for now.